Welcome to another segment with Breakthrough3x.com. Let me ask you this. How critical do you think transforming the lives of young people is today? And what if there was a way that we could all go out and have a bigger impact in one of the biggest groups that affect our future in the world, which are teenagers? I mean, think about it. As we look back on what happened over COVID and we see all the shifts in young teenage people and young people and how their minds have changed, their emotions have changed, and getting bombarded with social media. And, here I am in my mid 50s. Like, there's never been a time when young people have had to deal with what they've had to deal with. And you think about what resources are really available to help support them, to shift their life, and also give them access to mentoring and guidance and, in many ways, coaching at the highest level. Well, guess what? If any of that concerns you, you are going to love today's segment, today's guest expert, because she is definitely an expert at being able to help young people, teenagers, maybe like you have, maybe like your family has, maybe like some of your friends have, and help shift their world for the better. Her name is Lenita, and she runs a great company. She's the founder of teencoachingacademy.com. That's teencoachingacademy.com. She is a teacher at heart, a teacher today, a teacher in the past, a teacher now, a teacher in the future. Why? Because she knows that at the core root of the problem that we all face for the future is giving our young people, our teenagers, better mental space, physical, social, spiritual, emotional. And what would it be worth if there was a proven path to be able to boost the self-image, to boost the self-esteem, and a proven path that could impact thousands, if not millions and millions of people all over the world? Well, today you're going to learn about that. Lenita, welcome to our show. How are you?
Hey, Dan. So good. Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited for today's conversation.
Same here. And I know you've been able to impact, like tens of thousands of teens, and you've worked with hundreds of coaches to help them through your process at the teencoachingacademy.com. And I'm curious, why are you so fascinated about this segment for you of coaching in one of the fastest growing segments in the world, which is teen coaching? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, of course, I am one of the crazy ones. I remember when I wanted to become a school teacher, and people were like, why on earth would you want to become a teacher? Can't you wait until you finish school? And, so I'm always just incredibly passionate about working with teenagers. And I guess this concept of life coaching, witnessing where society is right now, I can see how people are catching on. People know better these days with social media and the motivational speakers out there. And I guess the personal development space, people are catching on. So it excites me that people are finally starting to have those conversations about mental health, anxiety, emotional intelligence. Back then when I was in school, Dan, we weren't having conversations like that. I don't even think anxiety was even a topic when I was a teenager. So the fact that people are now starting to have those conversations really excites me. And so now, of course, it's a very fast growing industry. Teen life coaching in comparison to life coaching already out there in the space. We're still quite a baby niche, but I would say, we're one of the fastest growing industries. And finally, people were having the conversations about this. And I think it was based on what happened back in, with the pandemic, etc. The people just started to have the conversations more. I guess without choice, really, schools had to adapt so quickly to society and how classrooms were being managed. So it really excites me. Finally, people are having conversations about teenagers, mental health, well-being, personal development. And as a former PE teacher, I was like, it's about time. People now start having these conversations. So I guess a lot excites me about it, but that's probably the main reason.
And I know what excites me. I'm a little biased to this. I have a family member who's been impacted by all these shifts and changes. It's in their teenage years. And again, never before in history have young people had to deal with what they have to deal with today. The bombardment of media exponentially, right? One of the young people in our family, she has over 140,000 TikTok followers, and she's addicted to social media. It is what it is. right? And what I love about your platform, because if you go to a young person in their teens, where their mind is developing, their heart is developing, their physical is a bit, changing and developing all at the same time, right? There's a lot of like uncertainty and a lot of upheaval and all this sort of thing. And then you go to that, and they might recognize they have an issue. But if you go to them and go, hey, why don't we get you a therapist? What teenager in the world wants to go a traditional route of therapy? Like, no. But like, if you go to them and say, we've got a safe place where you can, work with peers and work with people you can trust, right? It creates a safe outlet, doesn't it? And
It
again, you've been
does.
able to work with tens of thousands of kids impacted by the work that you do through the different support system you've set up with your coaches and your trainers and all these sorts of things. So Lenita, can you think of, a story of someone that you've worked with, either as a coach and then them having an impact, or maybe someone directly, of where it's made a difference in their business, right? And help them get more business as a result of, being in this wonderful industry that allows us coaches to go out and impact teens in a safe way.
Yeah. Oh, I love these stories as well. I'm very fortunate to have helped so many educators and coaches and speakers who already work with teenagers. One story that comes to mind is one of our school teachers. She's based in Colorado in the States, and a former school teacher, former math tutor as well, I guess dancing into the life coaching space. And for her, she really wanted to impact teenagers, yet wanted to do it in a way where it complemented her lifestyle. As a mum, as a wife, someone who loves to travel, she really just wanted to build a career that will complement her life and not be married to her job. I think as teachers, we can all relate how, I guess, demanding the job can be for most of the time. So, yeah, I guess coming from the teaching world, she understood the overwhelm and the burnout, and she didn't want to stay in that space. So I guess working through our system, understanding the simplicity in the model, having conversations with families, falling in love with the process of meeting mum and dad, sitting down with the teenager, just bringing in that teacher's spirit into business and not feeling like you need to give up your teacher cap or you need to be someone different because now you're monetizing. We just really helped her become so natural in her sales process, get to know the families, and importantly, see the value in what she was doing for teenagers. Because we would do this for free in a heartbeat, which a lot of us do in the beginning. We didn't know we can monetize teen coaching. So yeah, for her, it was just really step by step, genuine, non-salesy or sleazy techniques, get to know the families, enroll the teenagers. And now she supports teenagers. She works from anywhere she likes, really. She loves to travel with her family. She's always on trips with her husband and her daughters. It's beautiful to see on Facebook. It's like I live through her posts sometimes. And yeah, she just really is now supporting parents who value coaching. She doesn't have to convince parents to invest. That's what she struggled with in the beginning. She speaks to sophisticated parents who are sophisticated buyers. They're not a first-time high-ticket buyer. Like, they already are investing in their children. So, yeah, I think financially speaking, it's really changed her life. And she was one of our first students to cross six figures, which replaced her teacher salary, which is crazy for us. So, yeah, lots in that story, I think, from a business perspective, systems perspective, but lifestyle and impact has been such a huge difference in her life. And we get to be a part of that, which is really amazing.
And I'm a little biased because I've gotten a chance to go under the hood of the car, so to speak, with your business. And I've seen and heard and viewed dozens and dozens of these different stories where someone could build, a full-time six-figure kind of business out of it, or, call it the side hustle or somewhere in the middle, all by helping young people, young teenagers, help with anxiety and burnout, self-esteem, self-image, all these really critical things that are like, they're not taught in the traditional school system. They're not taught anywhere, in fact. And you either learn them through diffusion and osmosis accidentally, or here you've created something where you can help these young people and help coaches by design create a vehicle and an outlet. So I guess I'm curious because I mean, I just see so much potential in what you do with Teen Coach Academy. Is like, why, why do you think it makes sense for someone, like, who is the person that is ideal for what you do to build this either part-time, spare time, or even look at, like I think as Nancy, you mentioned, built this six-figure income through your vehicle.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, someone who, has that thing that I can't teach, that spirit, that passion, who wants to hang around the teenagers and work with them without a paycheck, like at that soul level, someone who's incredibly passionate about working with kids, the crazy ones, right? As I mentioned in the beginning, like, why on earth would you want to work with kids? So I really do look for that heart-centered teacher's spirit in someone. And, traditionally speaking, a lot of our members are already either teachers, tutors, counselors, youth speakers. They've already danced in the market working with teenagers. And I guess for the most part, someone that's looking to make an additional impact and income, in the beginning, wanting to extend that impact beyond this classroom walls, someone that wants to do more than their 9 to 5 with teenagers. So that's usually who I'm looking for, someone who already has, that spirit in check. They would do this without me. They're not looking for Teen Coach Academy just to build that entire career for them. It's like they're already in the game working with teenagers, but also too around someone who, has the courage to give themselves options. This could be a supplementary income, and you will be more than happy to stay in your teaching job, or someone that wants to become a teacher. Like, we've helped coaches train and learn from us, and then they ended up getting teaching jobs in schools, which was like, on the flip side, that was really amazing to witness as well. We helped people become school teachers. So it really is a matter of, having the courage to entertain options, because you're not stuck and there are options. And of course, someone who believes in themselves to potentially transition out and build a full-time income, the option is there. I just really want people to know and just believe in themselves that this is possible for them, because I'm certainly not the exception to the rule. And like our other members as well, it's just following a predicted path. So yeah, I just find we really do look for that teacher spirit first and foremost, and the courage to just give it a good crack.
So speaking of supplemental, speaking of a proven path, and someone can customize their journey with you, Lenita. What's another example of somebody that maybe is, a little bit more laid back versus Nancy, the six-figure one example, that just, in addition to maybe what they're already doing, is supplementing their income? What's a story of, like where they were before, why they did it, and maybe what happened?
Yeah, I would say one of my favorite stories to tell is Henry and Sam, like our couple in business. They're our wonderful members that are located in the United Kingdom. And Henry came to us, and he was a tutor, a former like youth leader / tutor, and he wanted to add another extension or pillar to what he was already doing. So kudos to Henry. He was already established coming to us, and he just wanted to learn a little bit more about coaching and what that looks like, and adding that another, I guess, extension to his business model. And it's really beautiful to witness, because once again, they're very lifestyle driven. They've just moved into their new home. They're on their way to investing in their dream home. And it's beautiful to witness from our end, but it's also nice from a financial standpoint, trickling through, adding that additional recurring revenue to their model, where now it becomes such a scalable way to impact teenagers. So they have a beautiful community for parents and teenagers. It's nice to see how they're growing that community as well in the United Kingdom, where coaching and teen coaching is very new for that market as well. And that's a really beautiful story, like a tutor coming into our world with no formal education under their belt. And that's a big, I guess, misconception or insecurity a lot of people have, is like, do I have to be a school teacher in order to become a life coach? And Henry is a great example on, Well, no, that's why Teen Coach Academy is here. We can support you with what formal education might mean or feel or look like for you. So, yeah, they're very much well on their way to crossing six figures as well. And it's really beautiful to see that monthly recurring revenue model grow for them, where he can choose to still tutor and also coach at the same time whilst speaking in schools with no formal educational degree under his belt. It's beautiful, whilst having the time of his life with his wife and his kids, and moving into their dream home. It's just, I get goosebumps thinking about their stories. So yeah, they're another beautiful story that we do love to tell.
And as you're watching right now, or you're listening right now, like, what if you could actually get into a vehicle like the Teen Coaching Academy program that Lenita has set up, and you could work in one of the fastest growing, because think about it. Do you think that we're in a time of growth where there's more and more teenagers that are, overly stressed, feeling burnout, feeling high, super high anxiety, even depressed, even depression, on top of that, where their self-image, self-esteem needs, we'll call it at the very least, a little boost, if not a complete makeover? Well, imagine a vehicle where you could plug into something proven and take your skills potentially as a coach and work with something with the proven marketing, the proven sales, the proven blueprint to be able to go out and build a supplemental business or a full-time business out of that. Now, I want to speak to the elephant in the room, right? Because, some of this for somebody listening or watching, it could sound too good to be true, Lenita. You've been on this path for some time as a teacher, and now a teacher exponential with what you're doing and helping teachers, so to speak, this teacher spirit make a bigger impact in the world. Like, what are some of the mistakes as you look back, like in your early days that you made, right? And or what are some of the mistakes you've seen that are some of the common mistakes, and what did you learn from it? Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I've made a lot of mistakes, Dan, and until today too. I need to give myself grace, and I hope for those that are watching and listening to give yourself grace, because you are going to make mistakes in business. It's inevitable. So I think reflecting back on my journey and what I witness in our members as well is, number one, like, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. It's very tempting, especially with social media. There's so many gurus online, and you can't help but fall into comparison trap. But it's always a matter of, like, take inspiration, but understand staying in your lane and focusing on just that next step you need to implement. So that, I would say, that was a big one that I made early on, is just too many shiny objects, listening to too many people. Certainly listening to people who did not have experience with teenagers. Like, very early on, Dan, a lot of mentors in the early years told me to not touch teen coaching space. There's no money in it. Parents won't buy. And so unfortunately, like, that got in my head in the beginning, because I thought, oh, they're the expert, I should listen to them. And then I just realized, look, I can feel it. I know this is going to happen. Parents are coming to me. I just had to trust. So that was another lesson on, like, follow someone who has the proven path, who has done the work and has achieved the work. Don't just follow someone because they happen to be a business coach online. And that's why, once again, we've built what we have to remind and show people, like, I've done this. And not only myself, other coaches are achieving this too. So it's no longer about Lenita's story anymore. It's like Teen Coach Academy and the stories that we've helped create too. Another lesson or another mistake that I made was not committing to the long game. Now I'm very much, I play the decade game. I know I'm in this for years to come. I don't put pressure on 12 weeks or 6-month relationships. Like, I'm really in it for the long game. And just repeat, do what works and 10x it. So in the early days, one strategy worked, and then I would get bored, because my mistake was I would attach fulfillment to my business. I would look for variety in my business, when in reality, I was lacking variety in my personal life. So don't play with your business, get playful in life. And that was a big lesson I learned in the beginning too. So yeah, if it works, do it again and 10x it, and stay committed and Sure, it would be boring at some moments, but it works. So please just don't play with your business. Get playful in your personal life. And yeah, lots of mistakes, Dan. Lots of mistakes, but I would say just give yourself grace and play the long game.
That is amazing. Now, speaking of, mistakes, and I've got a whole page of notes here. Don't compare yourself. Don't get caught in the comparison track. Stay in your lane. Avoid shiny objects. Don't listen to experts who haven't done what you want to do. Commit to the decade game, not the short game, right? Play it for the long game and do what works and 10x it. If someone wants to learn more about your unique method to help someone build a coaching business in the fastest growing market in the world, which is teen coaching, or at least one of the fastest growing markets in the world, where can they go to learn more about you, your program, and all that sort of stuff, Lenita?
Yeah, I love that. We definitely play on all social media channels, so I feel like wherever someone's playing, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook, we have a beautiful Facebook community. It's called Thriving Teen Coaches. That's completely free. It's a beautiful way to enter our world and have a look at what's going on. If you're someone that loves to binge watch, head over to YouTube. I'm definitely someone that loves to binge on content. But what I'm really excited about is our free training. We have this beautiful introduction. I teach you the 5 keys to making an additional income with teen coaching. And that, you just simply head over to teencoachacademy.com/start. It's very straightforward. Plug into that content, have a feel and have a look at what we get up to. And it's completely free, which makes this a beautiful, safe way for you to get started with us. And I would say that would be the best first step for everyone who, wants to have a little bit more of a look beyond social media channels and just jump right in and have a feel.
All the links that Lenita just mentioned are somewhere here on the page. I don't know if they're over there, up here, or there, but they're somewhere here. And wherever they are, click the links, or you can go to teencoachacademy.com/start. That's teencoachacademy.com/start. Get the 5 steps, walk through the basic training, learn the system, learn what she's got. And by all means, if something is a fit, just reach out to her. She's very accessible, at least at this point, the time we're doing this. It may not be the case in a couple of months, but as of now, take advantage of that opportunity. Go to teencoachingacademy.com, teencoachacademy.com/start. Again, the links are here on the page. And then if there's a fit, you want to learn a little bit more, schedule a consultation with Lenita. Don't be shocked, though, if you walk away with 1, 2, 3, 4 great insights to help you grow and expand a coaching business without the typical stress, without traditional online internet, digital marketing waste or expensive advertising or all those sorts of things. So click on the link right now. Well, you're still listening and watching this amazing interview, of course. Don't go away. Stick around. So with that, Lenita, what are a couple, immediate tips that you could give someone running a coaching business or specific to your industry, a teen coaching business, that they could use, apply, and implement to make a bigger impact right now? What are a couple tips or insights you could share?
Yeah, I would say, and people might be surprised with the simplicity of this, but it works, is telling your family and friends what you're up to. The good old, and you don't even have to touch social media now if you're someone that wants to remain private. A lot of our members are still private on socials because they're school teachers and the kids try to stalk them. And so they just tell family and friends, this is what I'm up to, a good old phone call or a text message. You're going to see some updates very soon, or this is what I'm thinking about, or do you know a teenager that might be interested? It's just really keeping it casual and natural with family and friends. That would be number one, is tell people what you're up to, because people have lives and it's a busy world out there. And so don't assume people know what you're talking about. I post about Teen Coach every day and people still ask me, what's a teen coach? So keep at it, keep talking about it, and just once again, play the long game. The second part too is bring it into everyday life. When you're at the coffee shop, when you are going to the dentist, my actual dentist has introduced me to amazing people because I share my vision with literally everyone that I come across. And so there are parents everywhere. If they're not parents, they might be aunties or uncles. someone knows a teenager, and one of my favorite is the grandparents. So get talking to some of the oldies as well. They will be some of the best, I guess, advocates for your mission. And it just comes back to keeping it natural. If you're not ready for social media, don't pressure yourself. Keep it offline for the time being, and just keep telling your family and friends. People will rally and they will support you, because we're working with children, and people just melt when we start talking about our work with teens. And it's society's on your side. So I would just say keep talking to people.
And keep it natural, keep it casual, as Lenita said, because if you put the sales shark hat on, you're going to push people away. You're going to repel them. But if you keep it natural and casual and keep focused on the cause, so casual cause conversations, you will find that people will open their heart and open their connections to get you connected with lots of kids who need your help. And that's what it's all about, making a bigger difference. And again, I just want to remind you, if something here that Lenita is sharing with you connects with you, resonates with you, hit the links on the page, go learn more, whether it's the YouTube stuff, whether it's on Facebook, whether a private free group that she gives you access to, or you want to get her free training with 5 simple lessons that you can apply starting right away, go to teencoachacademy.com/start right now. Lenita, as we wind this down, like, what's something I should have asked you, maybe we didn't get to yet?
I love this question. There's a couple of things that come to mind. Like, number one, how has life been over the last, I guess, decade working with teenagers? What's changed? What's remained the same? And I would say number two, potentially, how have I navigated through the lows? Because everyone fixates on the highs, and they're beautiful when you have high cash months. You have a lot of people, loving on you, and you've got clients that are succeeding. But what happens when you have clients that maybe don't perform well, or you have low cash months? Yeah, how do you navigate the lows as well as the highs? That's kind of a couple of things that come to mind.
Well, let's go ahead and address them. What's different?
I would say
the same over the last decade as you see it.
Yeah. From a values level, I'm still Lenita. When I catch up with my friends that I went to school with, and I'm very blessed to still have friends that I literally went from kindergarten to year 12 with, I'm still me. Success has amplified who I am. I make more money now, and it just amplifies my character, where I want to give back and contribute even more to my community, my family, my church. So, money in the beginning scared me, because I thought I was going to become this different person, when in reality, it just amplified, who I am at a heart, soul level. So I'm still me. And my friends, I learned very early on too, is don't just, say goodbye to your friends because they're not in business. I have beautiful friends who are stay-at-home mums. They're loyal employees. They get promotions. They're so happy being in their 9 to 5, and they're beautiful people. So I'm very lucky that I learned that lesson very early on, is people are beautiful people. Don't just say goodbye to them because they're not in business the way you are. And so, yeah, I would say I'm still me after all these years. I just love to give back more as a result of the success in the business. And then I would say, on the other side, when it comes to how I navigate the lows, I've learned to neutralize, whether it's a high cash month or a low cash month, it's not a reflection of my worth. And I think a lot of business owners attach their self-worth to the numbers and the metrics, and they get so down on themselves when things don't go well, and then they're overly excited. It's like a drug. You're addicted to the high. And that was another lesson I learned over the years, is I've just learned to neutralize. We're still doing the work. It's great feedback. It's not failure. It's just simply feedback. And yeah, I really love that, because it's a beautiful emotional journey. And that's how I navigate the lows and the highs, is I just don't give power to either of them. And I'm still me. Business is one area of my life. It's not my life. And yeah, what a beautiful lesson I've been able to learn in such a still early stages of my personal, my professional careers. So yeah, business is just one small area of my life.
Oh, I love that. And as you're watching or listening right now, can you feel it? Can you feel Lenita's heart? Can you feel what she's all about? And if so, like, think about it. It's a beautiful, emotional journey. Like, what would it be worth for you to neutralize the highs, the lows, the doubt, that little voice that can creep in? Are you good enough? Am I good enough? And you could neutralize it to have that beautiful, emotional journey. And then be able to transfer that leadership to others, whether it's teens or adults or anywhere in between. And I hope you're feeling that. And if you are feeling connected to that, and you feel like there might be something here for you, I really want to challenge you. I really want to encourage you to go click the links on the page or go to her site to learn more about how she can help you. All right, there's somewhere here, or there's a link here, or you can go straight to teencoachacademy.com/start, teencoachacademy.com/start. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And that's one of the reasons I just love working with you, Lenita, and our journey over the last few months. As you think about, what you're doing today, what do you see as the vision of where you really want to take what you're doing with the Academy over the next 12 to 36 months?
Oh, yeah. I would say
paint us a picture.
There's a lot of things, when it comes to, I love education, Dan. I love what there's beautiful parts to the school system, and there's parts of it where it's just never going to change. But I think for the most part, what teachers are up to and what schools are trying to achieve. So we're definitely not there to replace schools. It has a part. What I'd love is to just fill in the gaps. Every school at this point have normalized the conversation of having a school counselor in the school on the grounds. So I envision a teen life coach in every school, and really be part of that impact globally, worldwide. That's number one. Number two, to provide leaders and educators with an alternative path. Not everyone has to become a school teacher. Not everyone has to become a counselor. There are a lot of young teenagers graduating from high school and they may not want to go to university, and that's completely okay too. I would love for Teen Coach Academy to be an alternative career path for them where they can become coaches, they can work for other organizations, they can start their own, but that's also what I envision. And I guess lastly, just in terms of, the way society treats teenagers, and shifting their perception and belief systems. There are teenagers out there right now who are making $10,000 a month because they learn off YouTube. They're making more than what some of their leaders and teachers are as well. And I think there's something to learn there from teenagers and helping them bring a voice into society. So people just don't they think of a teenager and there's a negative story attached to it. I just really want to bring, their voice and strengthen their voice, because there's incredible teenagers out there making such a huge dent in society. And I guess that's another thing as well. And I'm sure as I grow and learn, there'll be so much more in the works for us. And there's just so much potential there that I'm just so excited to continue to evolve and train more educators and leaders who want to make an impact. So collectively, we make an impact across the world too.
And if you're one of those leaders that's touched, feeling a connection, feeling inspired in some way from what Lenita is sharing with you, then I encourage you, go to teencoachacademy.com/start, go visit the social channels, learn more about what she's up to, ideally get into a conversation and see how you might be able to work with Lenita side by side in this process. Lenita, as we wrap this up, what are a couple action steps that you hope our viewers, our listeners from today take moving forward?
Oh, well, I love to keep it real and just say, start with us. You've got this free training. It's at your disposal. I wish I had this in the beginning. We laugh about it, but my clients do so much better than when I first started. So I'm so excited of what we've actually, brought to the market and what we give out, especially at a free level. The stuff is amazing. So number one, please get your butt into the training. Like, just click register. It's free. It's a safe way for you to start. And then number two, I would say, if you've been sitting on this for a while, you've been following me, this is not the first time you've come across me, or it might have, just have the courage to book a call. It's very simple. Let's not beat around the bush. You want to have a conversation, either myself or one of my team members will have that conversation with you. And it's a very natural conversation. Like, leave your credit card at home. It's not a hard sell. It's, let's see if we are a fit. Where can we direct you? And hey, if it's not right now, we direct you to resources. If it is right now, you're going to love the community we've built for you, and we'll kick on and have that conversation. So I would say they're probably the two best steps to take right now to kickstart your journey.
So if you're looking to kickstart your journey, you feel connected, you feel inspired, you feel like you'd like to be a part of one of the fastest growing segments of coaching in the world, and you want to learn more about how to team up with Lenita and all the proven resources, sales, marketing, curriculum, tools, etc., whether it's spare time, part-time, or full-time, I encourage you, go check out the free training. Go to teamcoachacademy.com/start, or go check out her site. The links are here somewhere on the page, up here, around here. I forget where they're at now on the page, but they're somewhere here. And or if you've been around a while, here's the question. You might be saying, well, what is it going to cost? Well, what's it going to cost you if you don't? If you do nothing, you'll get nothing. That's always true. That's one guarantee you got. If you do nothing, you're going to continue to get nothing. And all I know is, if you look at Lenita and this journey and where you're at today, like, where do you think you'd be today if you'd have teamed up with Lenita 3 years ago? Now, here's the truth. You can't do anything about the last 3 years, right? But you can do something about the next 3. And all it takes is, number one, access to free training. 2, to have a consultation. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is you'll be right where you're at after you go through the training and have a conversation. But what's the best that could happen? Maybe you get a spare time business model, or a part-time business model, or heck, for some people that she described earlier, a full-time business model, or somewhere in between. Imagine the possibilities of where you could be in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, or on the journey with her for the next decade, like she mentioned. Now, chances are you're not going to be the most successful person she's ever worked with in history, but chances are you're not going to be the worst either. Chances are you're going to be somewhere in the middle. And if making a bigger difference, making a bigger impact, being a part of a special community, learning some of the most valuable skills, and also being able to transfer your leadership to impact those who matter most right now, which are teens, suffering with anxiety, being depressed, sadness, overwhelm, burnout, as well as self-esteem issues, self-image issues, and more. And you could be the answer to solve those issues. With a proven format, what would that be worth to you? Even if you weren't paid for that matter, what would it be worth? All I know is you're getting a chance to work with one of the best in the world in this niche. So I hope you take advantage of it. Lenita, as always, it's a pleasure. I love our work together. I love our collaboration. Any last words, parting words before we go?
I appreciate being here too, Dan, honestly, and allowing us to have this space to have this conversation. I would just say, all it takes is that one empowering adult to believe in themselves, first and foremost, to pursue this career. And I always bring it back to the kids. The kids are the ones, the teenagers are the ones that are really truly missing out if we don't get out of our own way and fully just finally pursue what it is that you want to pursue. I just made a decision many years ago as I was transitioning out. I'm going to show the teenagers how to live. I'm not just going to keep telling them or teach them. And so that's what I do. I show teenagers how to live. And I love to empower our members and our audiences to do the same. Walk the talk. It's time. Teenagers are watching you.
They are watching. Let's leave more great footprints in the sand for them to follow. So there you have it. I encourage you, take action with what Lenita has shared with you. Apply the simple principles of transferring leadership, of stop chasing shiny objects, of being able to go deep and 10x the things that are working instead of getting bored. Don't compare yourself to others, and a whole lot more that she shared today. All the show notes are likely on the page somewhere here. And again, one last time, if you want to learn more, you are inspired by Lenita and what the work she's doing, you want to learn more how to apply it to what you do and your leadership skills, go to teamcoachacademy.com/start, teamcoachacademy.com/start. Seize the day, make it a great week. We'll see you again on another session here with Breakthrough 3X. That's all for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of growthtofreedom.com. Are you struggling to get a steady flow of new clients every day? Or maybe hit a plateau or hit a wall in growing your business? Well, let's help you solve this problem today. Let's review your business and have a conversation. You can do that for free today at breakthroughstrategycall.com. That's breakthroughstrategycall.com. In addition, if you're looking for a simple way to implement some of what we've been talking about in today's episode, then I want to encourage you to get our free small business toolkit. You can get that at activate.breakthrough3x.com. That's activate.breakthrough3x.com. If you'd like access to the special resources and all the show notes for this special episode, make sure to visit growthtofreedom.com.
Hey, it's Dan Kuschell. Click the buttons over here on the left. You can watch these other couple videos, as well as make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can get access to the latest insights, strategies, and wisdom, giving you more clarity, confidence, and direction for exponential business growth. Hit the button now.